Hey, welcome to replay analysis, guys. We're doing a PvP. These guys are actually a husbando, and a waifu. Believe it or not. We have Killer Weasel and Elvin Roget. Today we're going to be looking at Killer Weasel's perspective. It's going to be crazy. These guys are in the Hype clan. Hype, 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 hype. And yes, this is the waifu's perspective. So we're gonna see if the missus can dominate the mister. So first things first, pylon placement needs to be a little different. Pylon, the ideal pylon placement should be like this, okay? If this is a pylon field, you actually want only the center of the gateway to be on the edge of the perimeter here. The center of the gateway needs to be on the edge of the perimeter. So what that means is the entire gateway does not need to be in the green box. The like outer layer of the gateway could be protruding outside the green layer here of the pylon field, and you would still be able to plant it inside the pylon field because it's only the center that needs to be in it. So instead of this pylon being here, it should be like literally like right there. There's two reasons why you don't want to have a pylon the way this is done right now. Number one, it totally fucks your wall up. And now this is a larger gapped wall that could become a problem if Elvin Roget wants to do like adept run-bys or something like that. Like if adept shades go in your base, it's going to be more of a pain in the ass now to deal with because it'll be harder to like seal the base off essentially, depending on how else you build your wall here. And the second reason why is this pylon is super exposed now. It's like really easy for your opponent to kill, and a pylon is way fucking weaker than a gateway. So if your opponent realizes this and decides to push the ramp aggressively and just kills the pylon, they could actually depower your gateways if you're not careful. So it's just kind of a scary pylon placement. Okay, another big thing. Absolutely, this is this is bigger than what the pylon thing is, okay? This is bigger now. This is a huge detail. Have a probe at the location of where you want to build your gateway right as you hit the money to build it. The fact that you're waiting until your probe comes out of your nexus to rally there is going to make your gateway now probably like 4 seconds late. And that's going to make everything 4 seconds late. Your tech is going to be 4 seconds late. Your units are going to be 4 seconds late. And that's just the gateway. If you do the same thing with the core, you could get yourself killed. This is so scary when you do stuff like this. You should never do stuff like that. Try your best to always like calculate the amount of money difference. Like if you have like, if you go, okay, for me to run from here to there, that's going to be about 40 minerals worth of time. So I'm going to leave this area at 110 and get there at 150, build it, and then go back. That's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be leaving as you already have enough. Just makes everything super delayed. Nice chrono. Good chrono. Nice scout as well. I like your timings of your scout. Okay, you're gonna go expand. Nice expansion timing. This could be beta GM. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, your core is really good. Build it? Yep. Your core is good shit. Really good job on the core. It's still, the crazy thing though is it's still 4 seconds late because the gateway was late, but really good job on the core. And here I was a second ago thinking to myself, Killer Weasel didn't actually properly cover the gas. And that's scary in a PvP. But then I was like, oh, look at these two. Look at these two lovebirds over here. Elvin Roget not blocking the gas like a nice guy. And then he blocks the gas. Fucking sleeping on the couch tonight. If that happens to you, I think what you're doing here is fine. Building a gas at your natural now just to like get something else going. That's fine. It sucks, but it's fine. In the future, if you ever see a probe in your base and your gas is open like that, one of the best ways and easiest ways you can make sure you don't get blocked, either just straight up build it if you can afford it, or tell a probe to walk to it, like right click the gas, and then as soon as your probe is on the gas, tell it to hold position. So your opponent, because if your probe is inside the radius of the gas, it will actually have a red box and try to build on it for your opponent, and they will be like, can't build there. So that's just an idea, a tip for later. This pylon is way better placed than the first pylon. I like this pylon so much more. Very good pylon on that one. That's like a perfect pylon. Careful with your gas. Should we just rallying it to this one now at this point? You are, but okay, that's just a mistake. That's a little bit of an oversight. Obviously, you didn't mean to do that. So I won't really harp on you for that.
Your probes are under attack.
And then a little tip here. If you actually want to block your opponent's natural, or like their nexus, the best way to do it is don't do a line like this, like that. Do a box where it goes like left, down, right, up, and then try to have the end of your box at the start of the box. Because what happens if you do that exactly is your probe never stops. If you go like click, 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 right where you started the first time, your probe will literally do a fucking round and never stop doing a round. And like ideal, like obviously if you do circles manually as opposed to a box with patrol, that is ultimately better because you'll take less hits that way over time. But it's fine. Like if you're just trying to buy some time for yourself, a box in the very middle would be way better than doing a line like this. Because when you do a line like that, it's not only do you take way more damage away faster, which gets your probe just takes more damage faster that way. Also, if you run out of the range of the nexus, you'll just build the nexus, right? So square definitely better with patrol instead of a line. In the middle. Just make sure you do it in the middle where the nexus would go. Okay. Your probe needs to get out of there right now. You know for a fact that you have a stalker right now, and your opponent is about to have it. Your hubby is about to have a stalker. He's gonna have a stalker like in seconds, so or whatever he's gonna make. So if your probe stays, it's absolutely gonna die. If you wanted to find out what unit he was gonna make, you could go up his ramp and build a pylon when your stalker is like 10 seconds from being finished. That way, when his units pop out, you can see what his units pop out as. And then like cancel the pylon before it's done. It's better than losing the probe, but either way, like it doesn't really matter what he's making because he did expand. This is the fact that you've already confirmed this. That's humongous. That's very good because you know you're not getting proxied by like a robo or there's no fucking Stargate over here or something like that. It's literally a low-tech economy build for an opener at least. The only difference is your opponent went for double gateway and you went for Nexus first. So you went 1 gate Nexus, your opponent went 2 gate Nexus. So the only thing you need to do to react to this now is make a shield battery. You're making another gateway, which is fine, but you need a shield battery. Like, he doesn't need a shield battery because he went double gate, but you do. Because if he shows up with like double stalker and you have 1 stalker, stalkers kill stalkers really fast and you could break and start losing probes and stuff. Chrono boost your Nexus a little bit more. A little bit late on the chronos now. You are doing good GM as I can see, which is nice. Yeah, build that battery a little faster in the future. I was a little bit scared for you to take damage there. Okay, so dirty. Elven, dirty. Dirty, 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 dirty. Okay, so this is the best thing you could do, Killer Weasel, to deal with this. immediately stop making immortals. Just don't make immortals. They're gonna do genuinely nothing for you here. And if you if you keep making immortals, you could do that in theory. Okay? If your opponent literally just doesn't know how to macro, you could keep making immortals and stalkers and beat this. But if your opponent knows how to macro to any extent, you should totally not make immortals right now. Maybe just make like an observer to like watch where they are. Make another like gateway somewhere else, because now you're gonna need to supplement the cost of what these are. The more like if you can't make immortals, make like 2 more gates like back here or something, and make another battery like somewhere that can heal your stalkers that covers the front of your base. So a perfect place to put it would be like right there, because if you put a battery right there, you could shove your opponent off of your gateways here and your core and stuff and your robo, and if he ever attacks you with his stalkers, you could fall back to your battery, and then you're not gonna just like lose all your stalkers to this shit. Nice pick off. You focus fired it. That was great. That was really good. At the very least, you need to be chrono boosting. You now know there's a proxy battery here. You at the very least need to be chrono boosting these gates now and just stopping fucking immortals. Again, you could make immortals. You still could. It's not the end of the world if you do. It's just that this is... I don't... What league is this again? This is like Diamond, right? Or is this Plat? Either, like, this is fucking scary to keep making immortals versus someone who's only got voidrays. Because it does nothing for you. Like, you could kill the batteries, but if you just keep making Stalker, you could get overpowered. So, you made too many batteries. You made 3 batteries. I think you just need 1, and you need it a little closer. That's all you should have done. 3 batteries is too much. The reason why 3 batteries is too much is because you don't have enough DPS right now. And not enough DPS with more batteries healing. Not enough DPS doesn't really change the fact that it's not enough DPS. You're still just going to get pushed into a corner and you're going to die. Like, it's not going to go well for you, probably. You definitely... If you had more gateways, you would be holding. And you could... If you made gateways right away, they would be finishing, like, right now. And you could have, like, 4 gates right now. Nice pick off again. You see, that was a resume from replay right there. So Elvin Roget is, he has a low tolerance for onions. It gives him IBS. And then Killer Weasel, that night was doing Taco Tuesday and decided to put onions in the taco mix. Paused the game right here and was like, let's finish playing this after dinner. Okay, honey. And then just fucking put onions in Taco Tuesday's taco mix, and then suddenly IBS kicked in real hard for Elvin Roget. And then after that's over, now we're back in the game. Okay, you built 2 more gates, but you actually built 4 more gates, which is great, but way too late, honestly. Way too late of a reaction. I do like that you're not making immortals anymore. Oh, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. That sucks. This problem you're having now too. You're just too far away. You're too far away from your batteries. You built them too close to your nexus. So every time you're engaging these voids, you're so fucking far away from batteries that you're never getting benefit of them. You have 3 of them, and none of them are healing you through the fight. Killer Weasel, I think as well, you're getting carried away right now. So what you should be doing right now is I think you should have gone up to like 4 gates or maybe 5, and that would have been fine, and just keep making stalkers, because this is just a 1 Stargate. Now what you should have done when you had like 4 gates or 5 gates, by now absolutely you should have scouted your opponent with your sentry at least like twice. And if you would have saw, like you still have a probe here, so you see a fully saturated natural. Anybody who has a fully saturated natural is not all in right away. So you don't need to make like 8 gateways or 7 gateways. This is becoming a little excessive now. And then if you had a sentry scout and you were like, and you're like, oh, a third as well. You should be taking a third as well yourself. You're starting to get a little bit panicky and you're not expanding and you're just kind of chilling in your base. You're not giving yourself any vision to know what is capable out of your opponent right now. It's not ideal for you. And if you stay too low economy for too long, you're going to eventually die. Your biggest problem right now is that you're falling into the trap of paranoia. You're falling into the trap of paranoia. And you're also, you keep engaging without a battery, so you keep losing what you have. And let me say this. Don't ever fight an overcharged Void Ray. As soon as it overcharges, back up. Because it can't chase you. Because it's really slow then. Back up, because it has a cooldown as well, so it's not permanent. Back up and just be like, cool. Let's make more stalkers, and then next time we fight, I'll have even more stalkers. It's really scary to fight overcharged voids like that. That's how you keep losing all your stalkers constantly. Yeah. And then that's the end of the game. Yeah. There you go. I actually was like, what else are we going to see here? I was feeling like you're kind of dead there. I'm not going to lie. Because you're getting kind of screwed now. Because your opponent has a third and has complete Void Ray control right now. And all the stalkers died. It's just too many gateways. You're going into like an all-in now. I'm not even kidding. If you just had like 4 gates and a well-placed battery, you could have continuously killed the voids as they engaged you. Just like you did the first one. You killed the first Void Ray. That was really nice. But then ever since the first one, you kind of just started falling apart. So close your battery to the fight here. So you also have a battery. Because every time you fought, it was like the Void Rays are here and you're here. Or there or something. And then the batteries are healing the voids and you're not getting healed by your battery because you're too far away. So it's really fucking rough for you. And then, yeah. You don't really have enough economy anymore to even support this many gateways now because you're mining out of your main and you're not taking a third. So it's scary as fuck, but in moments like this you got to remember, don't forget to expand. Don't just all in yourself. Because making multiple batteries like this, like all over the place, and having them also not even in range, and making a shitload of gateways like this, all this means is that you're over investing in defense, which is giving your opponent complete map control. And you're just delaying the inevitable that you're going to lose. Like you're going to lose either way now, but you're just delaying it by having this much shit in your base like this. You're over investing in the defense way too hard. It feels scary, right? Because there's batteries here and shit like that. But literally, like I said before, the battery is worth so much more. Like, if you retained your stalkers and you got to a break point where you could one-shot a Void Ray, which would be like 16 stalkers or something, which was very doable. That would have been better than losing them all repeatedly and making like 10 gateways. You know what I mean? That would have just been the play, right? Just less gates. More gates faster, though. You didn't make gates for a long time as well. Definitely have a bit more of an assertiveness about making them in the beginning of the fight. But then fucking just stop at like 4 or 5. Because your opponent is literally just doing like a Void Ray poke. It's not fully all in. And the way you know it's not fully all in is because your opponent expanded. Now, if he didn't expand, staying on 2 bases is totally fine. And making this many gates would be fine. Because there would be more shit here. But because your opponent expanded, it's not all in. So there's less investment in the proxy. You got to realize that. And if you don't realize that and you do this, you're playing it a little bit wrong, because you're over investing then and letting your opponent have all the maps. So even if this doesn't kill you, whatever the follow-up is will kill you, because you can't keep up with his money anymore. He'll just out economy you. So I hope that makes sense. So once I know it's a void ray with proxy battery, what should be my immediate reaction? So your immediate reaction should be based on the fact that if there is or isn't an expansion for your opponent. If there is not an expansion for your opponent, if there was no expansion here, you did everything correct except for two things. Make gateways faster, make battery closer. Otherwise, the gateway count that you have would be good if there was no expansion. You would need to like make mass stalkers because it's an all-in and you need to like have as much as possible to not die. But if there is an expansion, like there is, you need to take a third base and you need to make less gateways because there's not as much of an investment into this because there's this. This is not free. This is expensive. This takes a lot of resources to set up. Obviously, it gives resources in the future, so it's a good investment for later on. But you can't have all of this and all of this in a very fatal way right away. So if they expand, you have to expand and understand that this is now harassment, not all in. And if it's harassment, less gateways is suitable for harassment defense, like 5 or 4, not 8. Or you have 9, 10, you have actually 10 gateways. That's way too many gateways. Like half the gateway count would have been fine here. Make sense? Good scouting though. How many batteries should I have built? So you should have built this battery because your opponent had a late natural compared to yours. And that's fucking scary because your opponent opened up with potentially more aggression, which is why their natural was late. That battery needed to go down faster, the one at the natural, but the positioning of it is great. This is too many batteries in your main. You have 3 batteries that are all in bad locations. You should have only made one, and you should have put it like where your stalkers are right now. Like put your battery, because you had that pylon early on only. You didn't have that pylon or that pylon or that. Like you did have that pylon too. You could have put a battery like right there. And that would have been a great fucking battery location. Because this battery would cover the stalkers whenever they try to fight over the cliff with the void rays. And that battery is still in range, if you put it like right there, to be overcharged by the Nexus. So you should have put the battery like on the edge of this fucking radius of overcharge. So that you can still get overcharge on it, but it's as close as possible. Because if you put it like there, it can't be overcharged because it's out of range of overcharge for the Nexus overcharge ability. But if you put it within the range of it, it's in a good spot to cover your cliffside. Because the biggest problem you had is you lost every single stalker not being healed by a battery, and your opponent was being healed by a battery. So you're taking really bad fights. And that's all you really messed up on. If you had battery in the right spot and you had just constant production out of less gates and a faster third, and then once your third base was up and running and you had good economy there, then you could take more gateways and like get a council with like blink or something, you would have crushed the shit out of this. Absolutely crushed it. You had so many stalkers. You had so much more than your opponent did because you took a base way faster than your opponent did and you had more money than they did. It's just you were really wasteful by letting your stalkers die so much here. Because it took you too long to make the initial ones, and then you overdid it, and you made a lot later on with no battery support. That just kind of died. So that's all it really was. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. That's really it, though. That's honestly the only things that could have been changed here. Otherwise, it was fine. Like your economy and stuff, other than your third and your chrono boost, was great. Yeah. You just gotta, like, trust me, that battery is your biggest problem. Having faster gateways and the proper amount of them is still important, but I think that battery location is the biggest problem you had here. Definitely want to have it in the fight for like right behind your army so you can actually have it being healing you while you're in the fight and then overcharging it while you're in the fight. Like that would be fucking huge. So huge. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this replay analysis. I hope it made sense. I hope it helps anyone out there like deal with proxy voids or anything like that. And I will see you all in the next video, whatever that might be. Shout out to Killer Weasel and Elvin Roget for sending me this replay too. You guys are great. I think it's awesome that you guys play StarCraft together. And you guys are still somehow together. After games like this. Fuck. But yo, much love. Good luck to both of you in the future. And I'll see you guys, all of chat and YouTube and stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, much love and peace.